Welcome to the Take a Seat podcast. This is Mario.
And Clint.
And tonight we want to talk about something a little lighter because, y'all know we talk about pretty serious stuff anyway. But this one's a little serious in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Hot take. Certified Lover Boy was better than Donda.
Psych. I don't think Certified Lover Boy was a bad album.
No.
I don't. But I think what I love about Donda is the fact that you feel like you're listening to every Kanye West album,
right?
Like a little taste of every Kanye West album. Mm-hmm. You have some elements of Graduation. You have some elements of 808s. You have some elements of Yeezus.
Right.
You have all of those different styles,
mm-hmm.
but then with a new ideology in the music. And I love that, dude. I think it's super creative, and I think he did an excellent job on it. And I think that I do think it could have used a little bit more work on some tracks. Like I feel like some tracks were
unrefined.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was complete, which is why I actually believe that Kanye wasn't trying to release it yet.
Yeah.
And I do believe that the record label released it without his permission because I don't think he's a perfectionist, dude.
Yeah.
He doesn't let anything come out that's not perfect because he respects art so much. So I don't know. I think that it sounds a little unrefined on certain tracks, but as a project as a whole, dude, I think it's phenomenal.
So, for clarification, we're talking about Kanye West's new album, Donda, and Drake's new album, Certified Lover Boy. And the hot take was serious but not serious. So, I agree with you about Donda. So, Donda sounds unrefined and unfinished.
You think as a whole?
As a whole.
Oh, I
think every soundtrack had this like staticky, not exactly finished, like clean production.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like Off the Grid, my favorite song off of the album, still sounded like a little distortion, like a little staticky, kind of like mixtape quality.
Huh.
To where if you listen to Drake's album, it sounds extremely refined. Everything is clean. Everything is produced to a level where like it's just palpable to the ear, to anyone's ear.
I think the song that had what was it, Rick Ross on it, or maybe it was the song with Lil Wayne.
Both. It was both of them.
Okay, yeah, that song sounded so unproduced. It sounded rough, dude.
It
sounded like a mixtape track. Yes,
I think so.
Oh, I really think so. The production was terrible, dude. The beat sounded like it was just mixed and not mastered. It sounded, or like even the mixing was off. Like the drums weren't hitting. Like it just sounded like it was a mixtape track that wasn't much effort put into it. Like
I can see that. That definitely wasn't in my top 5 of the 21 songs.
Yeah,
Actually, not even in my top 10.
No, not at all.
I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
But Drake's albums always have a couple of those tracks. The tracks that they just sound like they were thrown in as filler, and maybe they had a feature on as a eye catcher, but that's it. There's not really. Every album has them. Scorpion was filled with them, but they were somewhat. You could hear them again, kind of like After Dark featuring Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah, that was a dope song.
It was a dope song, but I haven't heard it in like a year because I just don't care for it.
No, same.
But Ty Dolla $ign, if everyone knows their ability, they're like, oh, wow, that sounds like he killed it. They both did their thing, but then after that, it just dissipates pretty much.
Well, it got outshined by all of the other tracks on that album. That wasn't the strongest track, not even like top 10.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Of the 28.
But it was still good.
Right. And that's what I mean, though. Like, Drake's albums are filled with filler. Quality filler. Of course, it's not like Migos filler where it's just trash. Like, it's just super skip. You never even want to finish the song sometimes.
Right, yeah.
Kanye, on the other hand, is different.
Yeah.
So, Kanye, at least from my my perspective of his albums. Now, just to clarify this, Kanye is one of the greatest artists, rappers, producers, really in what's the term for the what's the term
Of
for
our
the people?
generation.
Yeah, all of that
Yeah.
artists overall of our generation
Yeah.
since 2003 when he first dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So 18 years. So that's not to take away from any of that. Obviously, like I liked all of his albums with the exception of Yeezus, just because of how unrefined but that was deliberate. I think everybody knows that. So
right.
Whatever.
And I felt the same way about Yeezus.
Yeah.
But this is the thing with Kanye, dude. Kanye, people say, "Oh, well, he's ahead of his time," and I believe that.
I agree.
Because what I didn't like when it came out, I'll listen to a year or two later, back to the old stuff, and I'll be like, "Wow, why wasn't I jamming to this back then?"
Right.
And it's like literally, it was just too new of a style for that time for me to even be able to accept. And I don't know if maybe it's the culture taking bits of Kanye and incorporating it into other music.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes it a little bit more palatable to accept stuff like Yeezus.
Yeah.
But like, I felt that way with The Life of Pablo as well.
Yeah.
The first time I heard Life of Pablo, I was like, this is absolute garbage.
Same way.
And
Same.
then, like, years later, I heard it again, and I was like, well, actually, this isn't that bad. It was like, wow, like, but that's Kanye, dude. Like, he doesn't make, I don't know. And I'm trying not to sound like a fanboy to where it's like everything he touches is gold. Because, I mean, he definitely has some misses.
I mean, call it what it is.
Yeah. I mean, he's just an artist. He's a true artist. He doesn't care about what the culture is doing. He drops what he loves and what he believes in, and that's it.
It always works.
It
always works. Like Yeezus, as hated as it may be, it has a cult following.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will defend it to the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I like about Kanye West, let's just remove the politics and let's just talk from the artist perspective or like the artistry, right?
Yeah.
This man is literally ahead of his time on every single album.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, including this one, because this album, Donda, I wouldn't even say there was a genre for it. Like, sure, you can say it's a gospel album. That's probably what it's going to advertise it as.
Right, which is not what it is.
And it has so many different elements that it's its own thing. Like, it doesn't even sound like Life of Pablo. It doesn't sound like Jesus is King.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like any of the previous albums, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, that is a testament to his artistry and his ability to just do his own thing and be successful at it.
Yeah.
Like, one prime example is 808s and Heartbreak. Now, 808s and Heartbreak is known for Kanye's perfection of auto-tune and also including it into a deep emotional depression type of vibe, but it was something that was so good that there's a following for it. It's considered one of his best albums.
Yeah.
So, at the time that album dropped, 2008, we were still in the snap era of rap music, which is the most popular thing on earth. VIC, Soulja Boy,
D4L,
the D4, like all of those, all of those. But Kanye remained Kanye and did his thing and was even more successful than all of those artists in that genre that was topping the charts.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because clearly, what he did with that album and what he continues to do with those albums since then, are innovative.
Yeah.
Like, Graduation sounded like a transitionary thing after 808s. That's once he had already established that type of thing. But I feel like Yeezus is the 808s and Heartbreak of 2013, right? Because the sounds were so different from what was so popular at the time, which in 2013 was like this clean R&B-ish vibe. At the time, it was J. Cole with things like what was that song he had? He's like, something all night, something all love song. That
was
right?
fire,
Yeah, it was. And then Take Care with Drake, especially with Rihanna, you know, so like that's what I mean by like that's what was in extremely clean production, real harmonious R&B-ish pop music, and then EDM, which we're not going to touch that. But Yeezus dropped in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
Said, forget everything. I'm protesting everything, and this is my sound. Fast forward, what's popular now?
Yeah.
Deep auto-tune, synthesizers, everything that was on Yeezus is now being used everywhere in hip-hop, rap, pop, whatever you want to say.
Right.
Anything that sounds distorted, anything that sounds like it has a synthesizer, anything that sounds like it's from the future, it's thanks to Yeezus. Yeah. Thanks to Kanye West.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he made it, but he's the one that popularized it.
Yes. Right.
So he will get his props for that.
Yeah.
Now, Donda. Donda to me is not his best album by far.
No, it's not.
But I think it's somewhat, it depends on what you want. If you want traditional Drake, like 2014 through 2016 Drake, where he was just rapping his butt off and rapping about any and everything, fantastic production. His rapping was on point. He was just floating on everything.
Yeah.
This album is for you.
Right. Yeah.
That's the exact era that he was targeting, and that's what he got back to. That's why I said since 2016, aka Views, this has been the most enjoyable album for me because it sounds exactly like that era, which is, I mean, that's his thing. Like his point is to be popular, make hits, and outsell any and everybody because that's what he does. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. No, that's his thing. So if you're listening for something to listen at the gym, something to listen anywhere, you might hear it at the store, that's this album. One of those tracks will pop off.
Certified Lover Boy is what you're saying.
Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to, per usual with Kanye, an experience, you're listening for something that has a deeper meaning other than sex and lover boy lyrics. That, I mean, just call it what it is. Drake has a reputation, and I think everybody knows it for being an F boy. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think he even cares to hide it.
Right.
But if you're listening for something for an experience, something to where like a lot of people do, they get high and they just like put their headphones on.
Yeah.
That's what Donda is. Yeah. Granted, it has a spiritual spin on it. It has a Christian foundation to it. Yeah. But it's amazing to me that Donda doesn't sound like a gospel album. It sounds like secular music, but it's based on, the base of it is not Christianity, but religion.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable. Like Jesus is King, his album before this.
Yeah.
Was obviously gospel.
Yes.
Obviously, there was the message was to preach, convert any and everybody. That was the agenda. I mean, it's fine. You know, it's all good. That's what he wanted to do. This is not that. This is him stating his beliefs. I don't care if you agree with them or not.
Yeah.
Because I know you're going to listen to this album because the music is good.
Yeah. Right.
Compared to Drake, is you're going to hear this album because it's me. You know what I'm about. And this is what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing deeper than Drake.
It's almost like Drake makes music for the people and Kanye makes music for himself. It sounds kind of selfish.
I would agree.
But it's like, that's it. Kanye's like, I don't really care what y'all think about it. Right. This is what art is to me.
Right.
And Drake is like, I mean, when he got on the dance hall vibe, he borrows from a lot of different cultures, incorporates it into his music, and then makes it seem like he's extremely innovative, right? When I don't really believe that Drake is that innovative.
No.
Whereas Kanye is innovative.
Right.
Kanye creates an entirely new style that you almost have to take a second to even wonder if you like it or not. It's like, this is so new that I'm not sure how to react to it. Whereas Drake, you play it and it's like you're already vibing because it's not so different from anything else in the past.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just... That's one thing that Drake stands out from the crowd in.
Mm-hmm.
His ability to just take any and everything and make it better than what it already is.
Yeah.
He makes better dance hall music than dance hall artists.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Yes, I know. Even though this is subjective, like I agree with that totally, dude. Because if it wasn't for Drake, I would have never. What was it? DML boy?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Fireboy DML.
Yeah, Fireboy DML. Yes. Like I would have never gotten into dance hall music and appreciated that genre if it wasn't for Drake.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like some people can look at it like, oh, he's stealing from that culture, but it's like that culture benefits from him stealing from that culture because that opens up these other artists to become popular in America and in the West in general, where the money is actually at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, yes, it comes from a rooted egotistical point where like,
Probably
I'm going to just do this and it's it.
Yeah.
But that's one way of looking at it. And yes, you can hate it, but guess what? It's always beneficial to those artists and cultures. When he was in his UK vibe in 2017 through 2019, guess what happened? Every one of those artists popped off.
Yes.
Georgia Smith blew up right after that.
Yes.
So he has that way of perfecting it and doing it better. His drill music is a lot more enjoyable than some drill music.
Yeah, no doubt.
There isn't one single song, because I've been to some African parties and I've been to some, like, just different parties. Whatever.
Yeah.
No dance hall song will get a party going like Controller.
Oh, yes.
Not that you can put that versus any other dance hall Afrobeat song that is that high tempo.
Yeah.
Controller will win 10 out of 10 times. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
That's how good his music is, even though it's appropriated. But here's the thing about Drake. At least in an interview, that's what he said. Or this is what he said. He said that he's not even tripping about the appropriation because he checks in with the OGs of those artists, of those genres. Like all of the people that originated like UK. He talked to Skepta, Griggs, OGs like that that have been doing that. And he's like, yo, is this cool? You want to make some money? Let's pop this off. Bam. So he doesn't just like take it and then abducts it and leaves everybody hanging. He literally raises everybody and he elevates everybody.
Yeah. But I mean, if you were Skepta or Griggs and this United States artist that's world famous comes to you and says, hey, would you want to collab? You'd be a fool to turn that down, knowing that your popularity is going to skyrocket afterwards. Even if you did feel like he was appropriating the culture, it's like you're going to do it most likely because humans are naturally selfish and out for their own best interest.
Yeah, right.
Generally speaking, right? Yeah. And it's like, but I mean, I think it's just a benefit overall. It's like, I do believe that Drake is biting. And I think that the majority of his career, if not all of his career, was just biting from other people and making it great music making great music by stealing. But you know, that's one of the quotes that Pablo Picasso had was great artists steal, which basically the way that like it's interpreted from Pablo Picasso is like you basically borrow from other artists in order to create new art. Like Steve Jobs really loved that quote. So like the first iPod was designed off of like a toaster or some sort of house appliance. That design was not Steve Jobs' design. He looked at another appliance and then completely based it off of that and made his music player off of that. Oh, wow. Because he believed so much in that ideology ideology that you steal from other artists to create new art.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of like what Lil Wayne did on Rebirth. It's like he took from rock culture, incorporated that with rap. Bam! Now you've got this new type of rock rap combo. Even though I guess you could say that Jay-Z and Linkin Park did that before.
But it wasn't direct. Linkin Park wasn't rock. They were like a punk, emo / pop. Yeah, it's like punk pop. Right. Kind of like Avril Lavigne. You know, they don't see her as a rock star.
But a lot more dark and like grittier.
Yeah. Right. I know. I used to listen to them in middle school. I know all about them. So.
Oh, dude, I loved them.
But now I don't know why these artists are beefing. It's probably just egos clashing at this point. Whatever. I don't want to talk about their drama just because
Which
it's
I'm sorry, go on.
it's all skepticism, really. Like,
Yeah.
there's no. I don't even want to dive into that. I can continue the conversation so long as it's like comparing and then contrasting.
Yeah.
But like their personal stuff, I don't really care for because again, I think it's all publishing. It's all.
You really believe that it's all manufactured. You don't actually think it's real.
I don't think that two billionaires care for each other so much that they would want to just completely sabotage each other's careers. No. Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, in the defense of Kanye, this is involving his wife. So I could see him caring enough about that to where he would get upset and actually want to lash out. But
well, they've been going at it before that, though.
yeah.
So,
But I think that's what sparked it back up again was the Kim thing.
right. I mean, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Again, but again, that's not confirmed. Like, it's just
Right.
a recording that was played, and the recording that was played, at least the one that I heard, was an interview from like years ago where Kanye was talking about Drake and why he's obsessing over certain girls when he can literally smash any girl or whatever. And at the time, I think he was saying that he's smashing all of Kim's friends. Why does he care only about Kim? Or like, why does he care about certain things? So like that, his point wasn't that his goal is Kim. His point was that like, dude, you're smashing everybody else. Why do you care? Basically, which is a little different. But again, this is what I mean by skepticism. I don't know.
Yeah,
Nobody really knows.
Nobody
That's why, like, like I don't really see the point in divulging into that because, well, what do we hear? Like,
Right.
It's just gossip, you know?
Right. At the end of the day, it benefits both of them.
Yeah, publicity.
Yeah. Even if it is real, which I lean a little bit more towards it actually being genuine on both of their parts, especially Kanye's part. I don't know about Drake so much. I feel like he may see it as opportunity for promotion.
Kanye probably sees it as you disrespecting me.
Yeah. That's how I
believe that. Yeah, because Kanye has a reputation for taking everything too personally.
Yeah, right.
Now, both artists, world renowned, both can impact anybody's career at any time. I mean, the biggest example of that is like Pusha T. 3 years ago, he dropped Daytona. He had beef with Drake, calling him out, going back and forth. After that, nobody cared.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Why was he relevant? Because Kanye produced his album.
Yeah.
The word Kanye associated with his career is what brought him up.
Yeah.
Drake, on the other hand, can collaborate with even the smallest artists like Smiley, which nobody even knew. And he dropped a song called Over the Top recently. Blew up that kid's career. Now everybody's listening to his weird moaning style of rap and all that, and it's really weird.
You know what song that is? Because I don't even know what song you're talking about.
Yeah, you've heard it. It's So I showed him the chart of how relevant Smiley is, which is still not relevant. But his biggest song is literally 36 times more streams on Spotify than his biggest song without Drake. And then that one, and then Over the Top is, I think, 36 times 8. What is that? Put it all together. That's his next biggest song after Over the Top. So, like, the point is that Drake can collaborate with anybody, make him big. Kanye can't. Kanye can produce an album. Kanye can put his name behind them. But that does not mean that they're going to have their song or their career blow up. Like, one huge example of that, where it went wrong, or it goes wrong a lot, is Designer.
Yeah.
Designer had that song, kind of like Over the Top with Smiley. Kanye took it, did a little tweaking to it, made it his own, essentially, put it on his album.
Yeah.
Blew up, abandoned the artist entirely.
Yeah.
Nobody heard after him. He dropped Timmy Turner a couple months after Panda.
Yeah.
Disappeared entirely after that.
Yeah. But in Kanye's defense, I don't think that Drake is hand-holding the artists that he features either. I think that he does the same thing that Kanye does. It's like, okay, I did this feature with you, and now it's up to you to keep the hype train rolling on your name.
Agreed, but all of Drake's features blow up.
Yes, I know.
Every single one.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Young Blue, nobody even heard about
You're
him.
so right.
And he exploded after that feature.
Exploded, yes.
Summer Walker, nobody cared for her mixtape that I heard in 2018.
Yeah.
The moment that she gets on Girls Need Love Too, blows up.
Yeah.
There was some other rapper.
But who else does Kanye feature that's... I mean, don't get me wrong, this album, he actually had a lot of underground artists that made me research them when I otherwise wouldn't have. But prior to this album, has he really featured anybody that wasn't mainstream already?
Actually, all the artists that were on this album were all mainstream, actually, believe it or not.
Well, but what's his name? Like, I didn't know who Vori was.
Oh, really?
I didn't know who that was. I also didn't know who he had the best album. He had the best
Fabio Foreign?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fabio, yes. I didn't know who he was either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not on Kanye and Drake's level. He's not even on Lil Baby's level. He's not mainstream.
Okay, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
he's mainstream to those that know the music.
Yes.
But he's not mainstream to like everybody knows who he is.
Right.
I get that. I only heard about him because of he was like competition with Pop Smoke in 2017, 2018.
Oh, makes sense.
And so I heard him since then. But the point is that that's like the difference between them. So like Kanye has produced albums for Pusha T, Kid Cudi, Tiana Taylor, Drake. Which it's the one before. It's the one that had Over on it. What was that album?
I don't remember.
It was after the one that had Best I Ever Had.
I don't remember.
But it was the one between that. It was the white cover with Drake's face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he produced that one. Yeah. Right? But did Kanye's name make that blow up? Or is it Drake's talent and ability to make it sound so good that it blew up because of that?
Right.
I think it was more Drake than it was Kanye.
Yeah. But Drake doesn't produce though.
No.
So it's like, unless you're Metro Boomin will actually propel you as an artist when you hear that tag. But Kanye doesn't have a tag, so you'll listen to a song and not even know that Kanye even produced it most of the time. You may think, oh, this kind of sounds like a Kanye vibe, but you won't know that it was Kanye because he doesn't have a tag.
Right.
Whereas like Metro Boomin, his tag, it's like, oh shoot, this is about to be fire. Because you know those 808s are going to hit so hard. Yeah.
Metro Boomin, I mean, he definitely, sidetracking a little bit, he definitely carries some artists. Like like 21 Savage. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, dude. 21 Savage.
His whole career is based on the beats.
He is the most boring rapper I've ever heard. I mean, dude. Monotone.
Yeah.
He flows in monotone, which I don't know how he does it, but he does.
What'd you think about the song with him and Project Pat on Drake's new album? Did you hear it?
Yeah.
And what did you think about that song?
Boring.
Yeah.
21 Savage is the worst part of that song.
I agree. Although the chorus is kind of cool. Like, I like the feel of it, even though it's like this like dark, like murderous type of like feel. Like, I liked it, but I felt like it could have been so much better.
Yeah. It just... This album, Certified Lover Boy, again, I heard it one time, so I need to hear it again. But at first listen, it's just like shooting for a hit. That's it. He put a bunch of popular names in there.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne and Rick Ross on the same track being one of them. And you would think like, oh, dang, that caliber of artist or rapper, you got to do something, and then you did nothing.
But that track sounded like that was a track that he had been sitting on for years that never got released. It didn't sound like he just recorded that this year. To me, it doesn't sound like a new track. It sounds very old. I
mean, even if he did, I mean, he's held accountable for that. He dropped it.
Yeah.
So like, even if he did sit on it, like, why'd you choose that? Why'd you choose that beat?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't choose the wrong rappers. No, he's had hits with Lil Wayne and hits with Rick Ross.
Mm-hmm.
So like the names and the rappers are not the problem. The problem is their beat selection and how you chose to make that song.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, first listen. I may not like it. No, come back in a month. I might like it.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, same.
And then he has another song. Let me look at it. He has a song on there called I thought it was pretty funny. Way Too Sexy featuring Young
Did you
Thug.
like that?
I hated that song.
hated it too.
The chorus was horrendous.
You know what's going to popularize that song is just, I think TikTok is going to popularize it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it's a quality track. I think the chorus is whack.
Yeah.
But I think that people are going to enjoy saying, I'm too sexy for whatever, fill in the blank, right?
I agree.
And I think that it's going to become a popular, like the Tootsie Slide. When that first came out, I didn't think that was a fire track.
No.
But like TikTok blew that up because it had a little dance to it. We were in quarantine. What other option did we have? Although while we were in quarantine, we did get a great album from The Weeknd. But it's like...
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah, that was an amazing album. But it's like... Yeah, I think that song will probably get popularity, but it's just because people are narcissistic and want to be able to say I'm too sexy for whatever and have a dance with it.
Yeah, you know, TikTok is a freaking phenomenon, dude. Like, 2016 is pretty recent, 5 years ago. But if you were to say in 2016, hey, artists, I want you to make a song strictly that can be popular on Instagram. Strictly.
Yeah.
Not on your album, only on Instagram or Facebook. Nobody would do it because they say, what the heck is the point of that?
Right.
Why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
That's literally the same idea for TikTok, where some songs and some artists are only even popular on the app, but not actually, it doesn't transcend to like real purchases. So like one of them, like there are some successes, like Doja Cat is the main example. I was listening to Doja Cat from 2018, where she had dropped some other album. I was like, man, well, good for this is really good production.
Yeah.
Now it's just like she's just making music for the sake of being popular and just catering to a crowd, which is great. Get your money.
Yeah.
Not against it. Every artist is different, you know? Like clearly it's working for you.
Yeah.
But is the quality there?
Mm-hmm.
No. At least not to me.
Yeah.
Kind of like Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion, regardless of the message, rapper ability and artist capability.
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard it is because one of my sisters put me under her and I was like, whoa, you got bars and you went off.
Yeah.
I want to see what you got. And she made an album. I think it was like, she was on there and it was like an 80s style font or like 60s style font where it like, what was it called? It just looked like she was a badass, right?
Yeah.
And it was all heat from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And then TikTok happened.
Yeah.
And she just started making music that was like hitting on the app. And it happened to transcend to sales because she already had momentum going.
Right.
But TikTok as a whole, man, it's just something else, dude. Like, I don't think... It added a different obstacle that artists have to face already trying to get on.
Yeah.
So, like, it's already difficult for artists to make a hit song, right?
Yeah.
And find the right distribution. Granted, TikTok allows you to make that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gotcha. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so TikTok, man, it already added another obstacle for artists to endure.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to get some type of momentum going.
Mm-hmm.
You have to become popular in social media.
Yeah.
Now it's necessary.
Yeah.
Like Lil Baby and Gunna did that.
Yeah.
They were one of the first ones that started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, the bigger artists like Beyonce didn't hop onto that until after it was already popular to get on there.
Yeah.
And get, popping from there.
But it's not like she needed that.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's just how significant TikTok is now, though. Like, that's just to be a testament to that.
But I feel like whenever you're an up-and-coming rapper, you look for those type of opportunities because, like, opportunities like TikTok, because you need it.
Right.
Whereas when you're B, you don't even need to look for opportunities because you have such a reputation that as soon as you drop the album, every woman on the planet is going to tune into that album.
Right. Regardless of what
Yeah,
it
like
is,
Kanye and like Drake.
Yeah.
Drake doesn't even need to do TikTok songs.
No.
Drake's going to be Drake.
Yeah.
And people are going to listen to his album as soon as it drops regardless.
Now, there's a dark side to these artists. And it's not too dark. It's not talking about their dating or anything like that.
Okay.
It's talking about how they treat their artists and those associated with them. Both of these artists, Kanye West and Drake, are notorious for completely burying everybody that helped them develop those albums and sounds.
Yeah.
Like Drake especially.
Yeah.
Dude, he completely abducted Party Next Door, Majid Jordan, Plaza, their sound, Roy Woods. Like everybody on his label is literally under him and buried under him deliberately.
Yes. Yeah, it's a power move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't trust Drake for that reason. Like Kanye, I feel like he does the same thing, not in the sense of stealing their style like Drake does. Like Drake, Party Next Door was writing for Drake for years before he ever had a name.
Right.
And Plaza like Drake's taken from Plaza's style as well. And like you said, Jordan, same thing. But it's like Kanye, I don't feel like he takes the style from anybody.
No.
He just cares so much about, like, so for right now, like what's his name? Chris Brown and Soulja Boy. Chris Brown was ticked off at Kanye supposedly because he posted saying that Kanye's a whole hoe for, I guess,
removing his verse.
Removing his verse, but he still kept his chorus on there, right? And then Soulja Boy, supposedly Kanye had praised him for the verse that he sent in, but he never ended up using Soulja Boy's verse on the album. And I ended up watching an interview from the woman who sang All Falls Down. Yeah, okay. So she's the same person that did the Donda.
Really?
Donda. Yes. So
wow.
I forgot her name. But anyway, so because she's so familiar with Kanye, the way she explained it was like, at the end of the day, this is Kanye's project. And he's going to use the verse that he feels like makes the art what he had envisioned the most. And
which
it has
is fair.
Right, exactly. It's like it has nothing to do with the artist and nothing to do with their performance. It's just, what does this particular track need? And even though he may have liked Soulja Boy's verse, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, but it doesn't make the cut for this particular song. I'd rather choose this verse from this other artist because it fits the motif or the ideal that Kanye has.
Right.
And I can see why artists will get upset because they pour their time and energy into hoping to work with this superstar rapper,
right,
and then not get the notoriety that they feel like they deserve. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, you got paid off of it. Yeah. It's not like Soulja Boy did it for free.
Yeah, no.
He still got paid.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you complaining?
Yeah.
You know? And at the end of the day, as an artist, you want to create your art the way that you want to create it, and you don't want to be feeling obligated to please, especially Kanye. Like, Kanye's not a people pleaser. Kanye's going to do what Kanye wants to do, and that's it. Like I said, it's like he creates the art for himself. It's not even like he creates it for the people. Mm-hmm. Like, this album was dedicated to his mother. That was for himself. You know, I feel like it was a personal
it was
feeling of obligation and love toward his mother that he had to do it.
Definitely. I agree. But we can transition to a different subject along those same lines, though. Mm-hmm. Being self-made and acknowledging the people that help you get to where you are.
Yeah.
Along the same lines, different conversation.
Okay.
So, Drake, any rapper that gets to where they are now will claim that they are self-made.
Right.
All of them.
Yeah.
Because they want to give that persona, that's their selling point. If I can do it, you can do it too. The reality is that no, you can't. Right. 99% of the people that rap, sing, etc., have some type of artistry will never even smell 1 million streams or something like that. Right. Like
Russ is the anomaly, though. Russ is self-made.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I would say so. But his dad is rich and had a publishing company that assisted. So he had a network basically. So he's not
But
exactly.
he got famous. He didn't get famous from a publishing company. He got famous from releasing every single day
Right.
or every single week on was it SoundCloud?
No, I'm not taking that away from him.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that he had a publishing company behind him that can get his name everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he's popping off or not. If somebody hears 10 seconds of a beat and they're like, "Whoa, bring it back. What is that?"
Yeah.
You're already ahead of the other 3,000 rappers that are putting their stuff up on SoundCloud.
Right.
So he's not exactly self-made per se.
Mhm.
Like, but I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing to even not be self-made or nobody's self-made.
Everybody needs help.
Everybody needs help to be where you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a rapper. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer. It doesn't even matter if you're a clerk at the county.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter. Somebody had to refer you.
Yeah.
Somebody had to abide by you and, tell you, go ahead and apply.
Yeah.
Or go ahead and go for it. Go ahead and lose the weight.
Yeah.
Whatever. But at what point do you stop giving credit and you just kind of like, okay, well, now I expect your support because you know what I do and you know what I'm capable of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Kanye and Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Drake will always give credit to Lil Wayne for elevating his career.
Yes.
He never stops.
Right.
But that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
Gunna and Lil Baby came up together.
Yeah.
But they don't credit each other.
Right.
Kanye came up through support of huge artists, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't credit those artists for his success or even getting big because I don't even know.
Well, I feel like it was a season. It was like when it came to the the college dropout album.
Yeah.
He definitely gave credit to Jay-Z, but once he got popular off of that, that's when I think that he became more of like, look, from here on out, it's like I've been making this happen.
Right. Which he did.
Yeah.
Again, he did. And we just gave him all his praise like it's warranted. I get it.
Right.
I get it. But, is it right? Is it wrong?
Right. Yeah.
I think that's my question. Like, what do you think about that? It doesn't have to be Kanye or Drake. It can be anybody.
But I respect Drake for praising Wayne so much because, I mean, if it wasn't for Wayne, Drake wouldn't be Drake. Agreed. If it wasn't for Wayne, most of our rappers wouldn't even exist. There would be no Young Thug, and then if there was no Young Thug, we wouldn't have any of the music we have nowadays. Young Thug inspired a generation, dude. Like, he did what 808s and Heartbreak did for the generation.
Yeah.
Like 808s and Heartbreak, we wouldn't have Juice WRLD if it wasn't for 808s. We wouldn't have X if it wasn't for 808s. Lil Uzi, we wouldn't have him if it wasn't for 808s. Like 808s really made an impact in rap.
You know who is an anomaly though?
Who?
More so than Russ? Tyler, the Creator.
Yes.
Tyler, the Creator. In 2010, when he first dropped his first Goblin album, nobody liked that sound, like at all. It was evil, raunchy.
Yeah.
The lyrics were about death, eating cockroaches, stabbing people, having sex with women on their period, eating them up. Like, it was disgusting rap.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a following.
Well, what do you think about what's his name? Young white rapper that actually is half black.
Jack Harlow?
No, Logic.
Oh, Logic.
Would you consider him to be self-made in that case? I mean, of course he ended up signing later.
Yeah, let's remove labels from the fact and let's just take the artists and their work.
Yeah.
Logic is definitely self-made.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
He started on YouTube. His fans started giving him money to rap to certain beats.
Yeah.
Made an album from there. Yeah, he's self-made.
Yeah.
He had his own production company. He had his own producer.
Yeah.
I think it was 6 something.
Mm-hmm.
Self-made. But he is a tragic story of a rapper to me.
Why do you say that?
Logic, man, all right. It's so bad to me. Like, it's so sad. Because Logic had huge momentum behind him in 2016.
Yeah.
He dropped this album called The Incredible True Story.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. One of my favorite albums of all time. Not only because it's cohesive, but because all of the beats in every song sounded completely different. But right at the end and right at the beginning, they all tied in together, and they all follow a narrative of him being in a spaceship and being in the future,
Yeah.
and discovering some planet or whatnot because humanity's trying to escape Earth and desolation.
Mhm.
Like, an amazing album, phenomenal production, bars for days, transitions out the wazoo.
Mhm.
Intermission is beautiful, fantastic. It's called intermission, like inside intermission, but it's the intermission to the whole album.
Wow.
It's a beautiful intermission, seriously. But then what happened? I remember because I was at the county at the time. I had just started, and I was like, "Man, I love Logic," because one of my siblings put me on to her, on him.
Mhm.
He dropped an album called Everybody. That's where we turned from
Yeah.
Logic, the artist, the bar artist,
Right.
this and that, to the cornball.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I thought that
man.
album was corny. Yeah.
Dude, oh my goodness. Like, talk about a whole 180 complete
Good
market
message,
crash.
though.
Yeah, I mean, I
Good
get
message,
it.
but it was
Yeah.
corny.
That's the one that had, the suicide song
And,
on there.
okay, so since we're talking about corny good rap, that's one of the things that I respect about this album that Jesus is King didn't do as well. This album, a lot of Christian rap sounds corny,
Yes,
but this album didn't sound corny.
at all.
It sounded Kanye.
Right.
And Kanye can be corny, but the album wasn't corny.
Right.
Whereas Jesus is King, it had some corny elements because it almost seemed inauthentic, like he was trying too hard to fit this new lifestyle. But now it's like, this is who I am. Before it was like he was trying to be a Christian.
Right.
Now it's like, I am a Christian, but I also create art. I don't know if you...
Low key, no, I'm following, but low key, that reminds me of what happens to people that are Christian or religious. At first, you're push. Like, you find this new devotion, you want to push everything, and you're going to hell, you're not a believer, etc. After a little while, you're like, you know what? These are my beliefs. You don't have to agree.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I know the end result.
Right.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened with Kanye West.
Right.
He's just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
He's a Christian. He's just Kanye in a very Christian way.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's an interesting thing. I didn't even think about that until just now. Like, that happens literally to pretty much every religion. That's exactly what I'm trying not to do.
Right.
Or become.
Yeah.
Because one, I think it'd be disingenuous.
Right.
I don't think I would even. I just don't do that.
Yeah.
Really. No. I don't think I can do that.
No, I get that.
But we don't have to talk about Christianity. We can just stick to that concept.
Yeah.
But Logic, man, what a tragedy. Seriously. If you listen to his first 3 albums, phenomenal. Outstanding. Like, stood out. You just hear, like, he didn't sound like anybody else. The production didn't sound like anybody else's.
You don't think that I felt like he bit off of Drake a lot of times when it came to choruses.
I would say so. But, I mean, Drake and Kanye are the pioneers of...
Right. Almost like it's acceptable to bite off.
Yeah, because it's like, if you're not doing that, then what are you doing?
Right.
Like
Young Thug.
Yeah.
It's like you can bite off a Young Thug and it's like, well, who cares? I mean, you're biting off.
Gunna, Lil Baby.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Removing that. Nah, man. That Logic is just, oh my goodness. Looking in hindsight, it's just so sad.
What about his last album? Did you hear his last one?
Yeah, I heard it.
And what did you think? I didn't listen to it all the way.
Is it the Marketplace one?
I don't know. Hold on.
So he had so many things going for him, dude. Like, I mean, I really liked his corny bars because I was like, yo, this guy is really rapping his butt off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was going off.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just tried really hard to convince people that he was half black. He tried to convince people that...
I mean, he is half black.
I know, but there's a difference between people knowing you're half black like Drake, but you don't have to say it. They just know.
But he looks white.
I know, but he addressed that in, like, his first album. And that's where it should have stayed. Like, okay, cool, you're half black. Awesome. But at some point, he became a gimmick rapper. Gimmick as in... His leverage was, I'm half black, so I can say the N-word and nobody can tell me anything. That's great.
Did he end up using the N-word in his music?
Yeah, multiple times.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't listen to Logic like that.
Numerous amount of times. And again, it's fine. Nobody cares at the end of the day if you use the N-word unless you're political or, you just want to be right or whatever. It's fine. Either one is fine.
Right.
But his downfall was himself. Like, trying really hard to seem genuine that in the end it just became disingenuous. Or at least it seemed disingenuous. Like, you tried so hard to convince people that you were black, convince people that you have bars, convince people that you can make good music, that in the end, it was your own words that became your downfall. Because he was trying too hard. Any Logic fan, like Ivan, you remember him?
Yeah.
Huge Logic fan. Even he agreed. Like, yeah, he fell off big time.
Wow.
Because he's trying too hard to pander. That's what it became. It became from having a positive message with everybody to pandering.
Yeah.
Like, now you're just like, dude, okay, like, when are we going to move forward from this?
Right.
Like, that's one thing that makes certain artists great. Like,
you don't feel like, you don't feel like Drake panders?
Oh, he definitely does.
Yeah, he's
a better panderer than Logic.
So it just matters how good you are.
It just but
be good or be good at it.
But if you're gonna be a panderer, right, it's fine. Like, The Weeknd definitely panders to people about sexuality, and like, really, you could argue that any artist is a panderer, whatever. But
right, yeah, you could argue that.
But what makes Drake and Logic so different, right, is that Drake doesn't try so hard to convince that he's a nice guy and that he has morals and that he's half black. Or that
I don't think he tries to convince people he's a nice guy
at all.
I think he tries to convince people that he's tough.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like, I think
he has that corniness about him. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think what makes Drake intimidating is his money, his power, and the people around him.
Because Drake could literally pay somebody to kill somebody.
Yeah, there's no problem.
Like, yeah, it's easy. No. So,
and I mean, that's not.
And I'm sure he has. I actually think that he probably has.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, having that much money, someone disrespecting you, I think it's very easy to make someone disappear. Yeah. I mean, I talked about it on Leather Hands. So. Yeah. But that aside, Logic is just a travesty, man. It's really sad to me. And then he retired, cried on Twitch, talking about, I can't believe how successful I've been, which is great. I believe that was genuine. But then you come back like less than a year later, drop music again. Like, dog, what are you doing? Like, you're just trying really hard to seem like a genuinely nice guy, even though everybody already knows you're a genuinely nice guy. Yeah. So, like, that's what I mean. But, like, what are you doing? You're just pandering. You're overdoing it.
Overcompensating.
Overcompensating for something you don't need to have. Or maybe you already have and you don't need to do it. Yeah. And obviously, you can make that case for any artist, whatever. But that was a tragedy to me, man. It is, and it was just sad. Yeah, it really was. I'll send you a couple of his songs that I think were of that era I'm talking about, where like his momentum was just shooting, and you'll hear it. And then I'm gonna send you some songs where 2017 and till present day, where he's just like his whole message just changed, and it went from being genuine to being a tryhard, basically. That's it. That's all it is. But I think the general fan doesn't really care for that, frankly. I think most fans don't really care for this conversation. They just care for the good music and all right, cool, that's it. I mean, I think most people, part of the reason why the Migos are so successful, right, isn't because, I mean, part of it is, of course, they pioneer their own sound, their own rap style and all that. Yeah. But what makes them so successful is that they saturate their albums with so much music that they just let the fans dictate what song they like. I don't think most fans listen to the whole album and they're like, oh, what a phenomenal album. Right. No.
But it doesn't feel like they make albums.
They just make compilations.
They make songs and then put it together. Yeah, a compilation. Yeah. Whereas like somebody like Drake and Kanye, yeah, I would say Drake and Kanye. I don't know about Drake on this last album. I actually don't feel like this was an album. I feel like it was a compilation of songs.
I would agree.
Yeah, but like Views, that felt like an album.
That was an album.
Scorpion felt like an album. Same thing with what's the one with his Life, Good Life? What is it?
The playlist.
What was
Yeah, this English one, right?
the one with his dad on the front cover?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that one felt like an album.
More Life.
More Life. Yeah, More Life. That felt like an album, dude. And actually, every Drake album prior to that one felt like an album. Even the album that I hated, which was If You're Seeing This Is Too Late, or If You're Hearing This Is Too Late, whatever that one was. I didn't really like that album because that was rap Drake, and
really?
I don't like rap Drake. I don't like when he raps on these East Coast type of beats, and I don't like rap Drake. I like singing Drake. But yeah, and I think that this album from Kanye felt like an album. Actually, I don't know if there's any Kanye album that doesn't feel like an album.
All of his albums are albums.
Yeah.
Even Yeezus.
Yeah, even Yeezus, it felt like an album. Yeah. But Migos, it just sounds like tracks that they just
they're just
out.
compilations.
Yeah,
they are. I mean, and that's fine. You know, each artist has their own style. But circling back, Donda, Certified Lover Boy, both of those.
One dies and one lives. Which one for you?
For me?
Yeah.
Dies, Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah, Dies, Certified Lover
Donda,
Boy. Yeah,
definitely.
I agree.
Religious views aside, just cohesiveness and overall quote unquote masterpiece. Donda, not even close.
Donda is going to be a monument
of its time.
Yeah. We're going to remember Donda. Certified Lover Boy, I don't see that aging well. I don't see it being like, oh man, you remember when that album dropped? Like Views. Views was monumental. I'll never forget Views. I'll never forget Scorpion either. Those two, when those dropped, it was like, wow, this is the beginning of a new era in music. And that's how I feel like Donda is too.
I can see Christian artists or rappers taking and like listening to this album and saying, so you can do that.
Yeah.
They're going to look for grimier, darker things that may convey their state of mind.
Yeah.
But the lyrics can spew a positive message.
Yeah.
They're going to take this and roll with that.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah,
you're going to hear some of your favorite Christian rappers take that style.
Dude, since Jesus is King, I've heard a lot of choirs on popular songs when I didn't hear choirs on songs before. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Lil Baby is one of them. Yeah, most recently he dropped the track with Kirk Franklin.
Yeah. Choirs have become a thing now since Jesus is King. And that wasn't even like his best album.
Yeah.
But it's just Kanye
being Kanye,
influencing the culture.
Choirs are underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Though they're overused probably now, they're underrated.
Yeah.
Like, rap aside, Chance the Rapper coloring book. He used choirs along that album.
Right.
Dude, I wasn't even associated
Super
with
influenced by Kanye.
Yeah, of course. I mean, directly.
Yeah.
But that album was beautiful. I mean, I was crying in some songs just because of the message. And like I could feel the emotion behind it and how the choirs enhance the emotion and the message.
Yeah.
Like there's this one song. You don't need to pause it. Hold on. Chance the Rapper. I'm on Spotify, people. Hold on. Finish Line / Drown. If you hear that song, it starts off as like this uppity, usual Chance the Rapper, like that era of Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
Right. It was positive and all that. But then at the halfway point, it's obvious. That's the halfway point. He transitions into this deeply soul, like, it's like, imagine this, right? Somebody's in church. A newcomer is going to church. You are in church. You're hearing everybody, exalting and glorifying God with the hype music, everything, all of that. You've seen it, Pentecostal, whatever.
Right.
Out of nowhere, they drop to their knees and they start crying. It doesn't matter if it's in the hype music, and then out of nowhere, I guess the band notices, they transition into the more melodic, more emotional songs. That exact experience is exactly what that song did for me. And I wasn't even religious. But I was like, Dog,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe this song got me crying.
Mm.
Like, it was so emotional. The
Mhm.
choirs, the soul, like everything, the spirit behind it, the message behind it was just like, you could tell that Chance was like, dude, God is everything for me. It doesn't
Mhm.
even matter. And he conveyed it in that song.
Mm-hmm.
To those of you wondering what song it is again, it's called Finish Line / Drown by Chance the Rapper. It was on his album Coloring Book, and it is an amazing song. Beautiful. Religion aside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I forgot what I was talking about, but I use that as a reference point.
We were talking about choirs.
Choirs, yeah.
Yeah.
That album perfected that.
Mm.
That song is an example of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, choirs are underrated. But I mean, it has to be tasteful, dude.
Yeah, it has to be executed properly.
Yeah,
Agreed.
absolutely. Because
Yeah.
they can go totally down the wrong direction sonically. I mean, it's subjective, right? But like, I think the way that back to Donda, I think the way that Kanye incorporated the what is it called, Sunday service choir onto this album,
Right.
it sounded like supporting instruments rather than the main focus of the song.
Right.
Like how it was the main focus of the song on Jesus is King.
Mm-hmm.
These sounded like instruments supporting the overall work of art.
Right.
And I loved that. I thought the choirs were such great additions to the tracks that he had them on.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But those are just our takes. Those
Yeah.
are just our opinions. This is supposed to spark a discussion as usual.
Yeah.
We welcome any and all opinions,
Yeah.
whether we see you in person. Well, actually, speaking of choirs and God, since our last podcast, now transitioning to that subject,
Okay.
things have been so good for me, man.
Thank you, Jesus.
I mean, phenomenal.
Thank you, Jesus.
Like on another level.
Yeah.
Like I was literally talking to, for privacy purposes, I'll just say it this way. She'll probably hear this. Girl on the 4th floor.
Yeah.
Going through a hard time.
Mm.
But I told her, I am so blessed. And I make sure every morning on my commute that I thank God.
Yeah.
Literally make sure to say that specifically. God, this is all you. Thank you. Let all the glory and all recognition go to you.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that's the proper way to say it, but I just say it.
Right.
Because when I first was pulled into the HR room, right, I was furious. I mean, I have a history with my boss, but I spent 4 years trying to repair it. He's just not that type of guy. It's all fair.
Yeah.
I did it to myself. It is what it is. I was furious. I really wanted to knock him out right then and there because he couldn't even look me in the eyes while they were telling me what was going to happen, which told me, oh, yeah, you had a part in this.
Right.
Whatever. It's all good. There is no resentment there. I'm just stating what happened. And leaving that office and leaving the building that day, I was thinking to myself, what in the hell am I going to do now? Granted, I didn't really think about a plan. I was just like in the moment, shock.
Yeah.
Because that's all I've ever known for 5 years. Stability, very minimal stability, but stability nonetheless through that job. And so I just, on my commute home, I was like, man, what am I going to do? I don't have my bachelor's yet. I don't know if I want to jump into like the criminal justice field yet. And so I kind of just like, I didn't tell anybody though. I just stopped, realized, all right, this is one of those moments, kind of like when I got stranded at Katie's on the way here from San Antonio.
Yes.
But instead of relying on my ego and my own perseverance, I know now when I feel like this, this is out of my hands.
Yeah.
So I'm calling for help.
Wow.
So I didn't pull over. I just, kept driving, but I just sprayed and I said, you know what? I don't know what to do. God, if it is your will, that is the way. So whatever you want me to do, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And so what kicked in was, all right, develop a plan. You got 3 weeks. In those 3 weeks, need you to fill out 150 applications. Whatever hits, that's what hits. Thankfully, some of the people in this room really stepped up and helped.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it turned out or not.
Mm-hmm.
The help is what matters,
Yeah.
because I think that's underrated, is the motivation coming from receiving help
Yeah.
can boost someone's morale instead of
Yes.
just lingering and like, dang, I still don't know what I'm going to do.
Right.
If you see people are willing to help you, well, at least I did.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to do this alone.
Right.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Push, apply. Like, I mean, dude, I applied anywhere from Buc-ee's to Amazon, which I hated, but I applied again. Like, I was just refusing to be unemployed. I mean, I'm not unemployed, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right.
And my girlfriend helped me with my resume. I said it last time. And I think really just like, God, this is all God's work to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think God is putting it in everyone. God allowed people to feel compassion and allow the people around me to understand that I need help. Even if it's not direct, it is in a way of pushing towards a positive result.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, what I mean by that, for those that don't understand, is I can't expect for someone to be used as a reference if I'm not willing to submit the application to begin with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm a certain believer in this, even though I have no biblical reference. I don't think that God will help somebody that's not willing to help themselves. So like, you can't receive a blessing from God if you're not willing to walk to the spot where you're going to receive that blessing. Right. And so, it's just been great. And now there have been 4 opportunities for me that are concrete, that are actual potential to lead into an actual career instead of just a stable minimum paying job. But the stability is what makes it comfortable, per se. At least to me. That is my experience with that. And life is good now, man. I mean, it's always been good. But the support I've received has given me confidence in myself and that everything's going to be okay.
You know, there's a scripture that you reminded me of whenever you said that. And I want to say it was Paul that said this, that faith without works is dead. So it's like a lot of people will have faith that God is going to do something for them. But if you don't put in the work as though you believe it's going to happen, so like you can have faith that you're going to get a job, right? But be watching Netflix all day long.
Right.
Because it's like your faith is dead. You don't really if you really believed it, you would do the steps in order to actually get the job.
Right.
Believing that God's going to provide the opportunity while you're actually putting in the work.
Correct.
So in this case, you were putting in the work of, look, I'm going to put in applications. And who knows, the applications you put in may not even be the job that you get. It may be somebody overhearing you talking about how you're looking for a job in a coffee shop one day. And it's like, oh, well, I actually have a job position open, you know? But it's about stepping out on faith and putting in the work.
Right.
And God rewards you for the work that you put in.
Right.
But it's like faith without works is dead. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And I say that every morning.
Yeah.
Even though I have these 4 concrete paths that I can take,
yeah.
Thankfully that's a blessing. I know not many people can do that.
Yeah.
But I say it every morning, man. God, if it is your will, and that is the way.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Which leads me to another scripture where the Bible says, acknowledge the Lord in all your ways and he'll make your path straight. Or another one says, he'll direct your path. And it's like, that's exactly it. It's like acknowledging him and he's going to do the rest. You know, it's like, just the acknowledgement does a lot for God.
Right.
Because the last thing we want to do is acknowledge God because we want to be so self-reliant. We don't want to let go of our pride. We don't want to let go of our egos. We want to hold on to it because it makes us feel strong.
Right.
And we don't like being vulnerable and feeling weak.
Right.
And it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like, he's our strength.
Yeah.
Whatever strength we have, it's not even from us in the first place. We don't cause our hearts to beat, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's crazy how accurate my beliefs are, or like what I say to God and how close they are to like the biblical scriptures. Like, I didn't even know that those were the actual words.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, a lot of it comes to our conscience. Like, our conscience aligns with the will of God. So we're born with this conscience. And when we read the word, it's like we believe the word because our conscience has good in it, right? And then when we see this truth, it's like, oh, this aligns with my conscience. Yeah, I totally believe this. I shouldn't be murdering people. I shouldn't be raping babies. I shouldn't, or in this case, it's like we deep down know that if you want results, you have to put in the work and act out on faith,
Right.
Some things just are born into us because of conscience. Yeah.
Right.
But good for you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm really,
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for everybody. You,
Yeah.
Your girlfriend. I'm keeping it that way for privacy purposes.
Yeah. Shout out to her.
Yeah. I mean, she's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know about all that.
Yeah, kind of dope.
No, but thank you to everybody that's helping. Thank you for everyone listening.
Yeah.
This podcast is not going to stop, by the way. Actually, somebody asked me about that because they know my
and I wondered the same thing.
This is not going to stop.
Good. Okay.
I will find the time and coordinate to make sure, even while I'm in probation, because this is something that clearly is needed by some of our listeners, and there's something of value here.
Yeah.
So I'm not willing to give that up.
By the way, in the comments section, for those of you that are new, or for those of you that have actually listened to both albums, any of y'all that have listened to both albums, if one album had to live and the other one had to die, drop the comment of which album gets to live.
Right.
Yeah, and then like or dislike the video if you love us or hate us, whatever.
Right. And I mean, if your answer is not Donda, then I guess you can. No. Anyway, so this is Mario
and Clint,
and thank you for joining us. We're out.